What's going on, everybody? What are you guys all doing tonight? Eating some chips. That sounds good. What kind, Lay's? I don't know if I'm going to tell you a story. Eating Takis. Man, those things are weird. I can't eat those. They're too salty. Looking for some demon stories? Oh, you can go to my channel. I got plenty of those. My narrator I look up to? Dr. No Sleep's pretty good. Yeah, probably Dr. No Sleep. They're spicy and salty. And the lime ones are really, really sour. Yes, he is great. All right, Robert, good night. Hope you feel better, buddy. The lime ones. My daughter likes the blue ones. I don't know. I can't eat them. I've never tried the churro ones. Sounds kind of good, though. If my son comes barging in here, I'm sorry. Maybe he can talk to you guys a little bit. Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good. If they taste like that, I might have to try them. You like the Monster? What's that? How does everything sound to you guys? Like the mic, the background sound? Does it sound okay? Energy drinks? I don't do energy drinks. Maybe if I'm like super tired, I will. Here in a little bit, I was thinking about playing this scary game. It's like a military. You kind of like, I think you're supposed to like unravel some military cover-up story. It's like you're a soldier, and it looks pretty fun. I downloaded it. Should you put Pop Rocks in your monster? I don't know. You can't, I guess. I like Pop Rocks. So who's liking my narrations? You guys miss the AI voice? I appreciate that, man. Your mouth sounds like a war. I bet. How many stories have I narrated? I think 4, but I could be wrong. Maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, I hope the voice change didn't affect you guys falling asleep. I mean, I enjoy narrating, but it's not really what I wanted to do. But I can't really use the AI voice anymore. YouTube is just being stupid. I have 4 kids. 5, 7, and 2 12-year-olds. Crazy kids. Yeah, I mean, I like real voices too. If I'm going to listen to a narrator, it's going to be a real voice. A lot more emotion. And I have fun doing it. I like doing it. I just have gotten a lot of negative feedback. Everybody seems to want the AI voice back, which is ironic. How do you donate? I honestly, I really don't. I don't want to ask for donations. It just doesn't feel right. You guys being here is good enough for me. Yeah, you can. Yeah, Patreon. You can join my Patreon if you want. Yeah, some of the AI voices are terrible, but we spent a lot of time on ours. A lot of the AI stories you hear AI narrator channels are like from like India and stuff. Not many are from America. They run like content forums and stuff. What's up, Danny? 97 Hey, 97 Mustang, are you? I'm assuming you're a Mustang guy. You have a 97 Mustang? GT? America, that's right. Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it, bud. Are you brand new here? Is this the first time? 97 to 2020. '97 Mustang. I have a 21 A10 with the ESS G3 on it, on E85 with the lethal fuel system on it. Made 812 on the dyno on E85. I'm a big Mustang guy. I have a Tesla as well. That's my daily driver. 21 Model Y performance. Love it. My favorite snack? Oh, I would have to say, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but I like vegetables. I like snacking on vegetables and nuts, like almonds and stuff. Like carrots dipped in ranch and broccoli dipped in ranch. That's a really good snack. What's your favorite snack? 2022 2SS Camaro convertible. Ooh, sounds awesome. I'm sure that thing's a ton of fun to drive. The only thing I don't like about the Camaros is the visibility. When you're sitting inside, you can't see shit in those. Reese's? Yeah, Reese's are good. The only time I really eat Reese's is when I raid my kids' Halloween candy. Yeah, I do watch Stranger Things. Finished it all. I'm gonna go with Steve Harrington. He's got to be my favorite. Yeah, I guess a convertible Camaro is not an issue. 11. What's up, Jared? Hey, Catherine. That's okay, Shantae. I'm glad you stopped by. Hopefully you have fun at work. No problem, Jared. I'm glad you like it. Anybody got any questions for me? Oh no, it's never fun at work when it's not fun, huh? Well, at least you're making money, hopefully. I kind of just go with what works, Jared. If I see something do good, I usually try to stick with that idea. Oh no, ear infections suck. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the emergency alert ones are super fun. My favorite one to write had to have been the one with the bug asteroid that came down. And then you followed the character who met up with, I think it was the brother of another guy, and he had a shotgun. And they like made it all the way through town into the bunker, but the older brother died. I do like emergency alert stories, they're fun. Would you guys be interested in watching me play a scary game? Stranger Rules? Yeah, Stranger Rules are cool. They can be fun if they're just... It seems like as soon as I come out with something, everybody does it, and then it just gets just overwhelming. Why do I delay my live? I mean, I don't set a specific delay. It just goes off of what OBS does. What got me interested in doing it? I've always loved scary stuff. And I just me and my friends wrote a couple stories and just kind of threw them on YouTube. I think it was like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago. And it started getting some traction, so we just kept doing it. I didn't ever think I was going to have almost 42,000 subscribers, though. That's still crazy to me. Oh yeah, that story was cool. I forgot about that one. That was like the kind of Squid Game one. I got a really cool story I'm working on right now. It's gonna be up Monday. I'll just give you like a little idea. It's about people that wake up throughout the world with this tattoo that comes on their arm, and it's like demon ruins, and basically Satan is just summoning people to hell from Earth. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My name is Connor. Yeah, it is gonna be good, I promise. I actually have a couple friends that help me write them. My favorite game? Oh man. Resident Evil series for sure. Probably either 2 or 4. Voice guesstimate? I don't know what that is. I don't know if another channel would collab with me because I've used AI voices before. Even if I'm using my real one now, I don't think they would want to be involved with that because all the real narrators are like super against AI, even though they use it. Like everybody uses AI, whether it's to help, thumbnails, sound effects, images. Everybody uses it. It's a tool to enhance your content. I haven't played GTA in forever. It's been out so long. I would love to do a collab though. That would be sweet. You're welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Bye, Shantae. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy Monday's story. As of right now, I'm not gonna make anybody a moderator. Sorry, buddy. I was gonna try to play this game called Entity: The Black Day if anybody wants to watch me play it. I mean, I don't want to play it if you guys don't want to watch. It's like a military horror game. I'm trying to get the game set up right now. I'm sorry, I'm new to this. I'm trying to get it to fit the screen. That should be good enough. Let me know if you can hear the game audio.
So, a new player, huh? Hi there, welcome. I know that in other games, you usually see instructions and controls on the screen. But in this game, the character,
Is it too loud?
will explain most things to you myself. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Adam. I'm a former Special Forces member, which means I'm a professional in military operations and battlefield combat. Now let's talk about the controls. To move me, you'll use these buttons, though I know you already know this because you've played plenty of games. To sprint, you need to hold. If you look to the far left, you'll see this bar. It represents my stamina for running. If it runs out, I'll stop sprinting and need to catch my breath until my energy recovers. Now let's talk about weapons and combat. As you can see, I carry an advanced custom AR rifle with a 35-round magazine. I also have 5 additional magazines stored in my bulletproof vest. To aim, hold. To shoot, press while aiming. This rifle has moderate recoil, but it's manageable. To reload, press. Reloading takes 3 seconds, but if I get hit during the process, it will be interrupted and you'll have to reload again. Now, let's talk about the mechanical wrist blade. This weapon is designed to deploy and retract its blade mechanically. Perfect for high-impact close combat, it deals heavy damage to nearby enemies and can strike multiple targets at once. To use it, press. And now, the big gun, the ATGM guided missile. To use it, hold, and keep your finger on it. Do not shake or make me move while aiming. Keep everything steady, focus on the target, and fire. Keep in mind, this weapon won't always be available. It carries only one missile, so we'll use it only when absolutely necessary. Now look up at the top right of your screen. See that green heart and pulse icon? That's my health. The lower it gets, the closer I am to death. I think that's enough for now. If you need anything, I'll talk to you during the game. And if you forget any controls, you can always check the menu. Now, let's go.
Do normal. Yeah, it's still a little cut off, isn't it? I do not know how to fit this on the screen. I'm running on ultra wide on the game, so By the way, I have no idea what this game's about. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to turn the settings down on this. Do I snook? I don't know what that means.
Well, looks like we need a key to unlock the door. Now, if you take a look at the heart icon in the top right corner of your screen, you'll notice 3 small dots next to it. The green dots indicate how many injections I currently have. These injections are used to
Oh yeah, I
restore
like
my
Snook.
health.
He's cool.
To use one, press.
He does like Reddit stories.
Successfully, make sure to keep me still. No movement at all. Now, let's keep going.
Has anybody played this game before? Sorry if it looks bad on stream. I'm running ultra wide and I didn't know how to fit it. I've never streamed a game before. Now I'll have to turn this freaking settings down again.
Well, guess I'm not going through here without power.
Wonder if I'm gonna find that key down here. Okay, this is where you craft ammo. Did I see that code earlier? That'd be cool to collab with him.
You've got to be kidding me. Where exactly do you think you're taking me? Looking for the door code? Let me save us both some time. Didn't you notice those 3 worn-out keys on the lock? The code needed 3 digits, and those keys had been used so many times.
Well, thanks for letting me know, buddy.
6 possible combinations. 6.
This guy's an asshole. Wonder if that redirected the power.
Available only in times of necessity.
Alright, we're getting somewhere.
Vange, I'm in, and I managed to restore some power by powering up the backup generator. Copy that. Keep me posted on any updates.
Let me try. It's stressing it even more.
Oh boy.
Man, it does not like that. Oh God, I'm gonna die already. Oh my gosh, I need to reload. My God, that was terrible. Oh, what's up, man? I've never streamed a game before, so I'm trying to figure out the settings. It's like trying to. It's a pain in the ass to try to figure this out live on stream. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why when I click back over here it like makes the screen all weird. Oh my. And then when I click
Boy, here we go.
play, it's like all the FPS is like super low and it's like lagging and stuff. What in the hell is going on with this? Man. It's like I'm getting like 40 FPS. I don't know if it's because I'm like on the stretch resolution trying to like fit it on there and stream it at the same time. I might have to give up on the game.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's not reloading.
This was our last magazine.
I might just have to try to go back to the other settings. It's acting all weird. I'm so sorry, guys. Now it goes back to that again. I don't understand what the hell is going on. We're giving up on that. Oh, that was a nightmare trying to get that going. I mean, my PC's decent. It should have been able to run that and stream at the same time. Does anybody here know about that? About OBS? Does anybody have any questions for me? I might read a little bit of a story I was working on. Does anybody have any scary experiences they want to share? Or some story ideas I can write? Black-eyed children, yeah. I'm trying to find a short story I can read for you guys. Alright, I think I found a story I want to read. Hey, what's up, Gina? How you doing? Well, I'm glad I said it right. I am doing great. I was thinking you joined at a good time. I was thinking about just reading a short story. Really short, but it's just one I found on Reddit. Run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, don't stop. It's only been an hour since everyone on Earth, as far as I could tell, heard those same words. I was already walking through the park when I heard them, and after seeing what happens, I won't be stopping anytime soon. It's been 2 hours now. I've kept walking. I'm tired, but stopping is not an option. Some people tried driving, but the act of getting in a car requires stopping, even for the briefest moment. And as those already driving when they heard the rules soon found out, it's impossible to move indefinitely in a vehicle, especially in a crowded city. Their screams kept me moving. It's been 4 hours now, and I'm exhausted, with the only thing pushing me forward being the fear of what awaits when I stop. And yes, I mean when, proven by plenty of those around me. Eventually, I'll have to stop. Some have just given up, accepting their fate only to immediately regret the decision. Some just couldn't take the screams anymore. And most simply, they just don't see the point of continuing. And with every step, I'm starting to become more like the latter. It's been about 6 hours, and for the first time I saw what happens up close. I was walking aimlessly down an alley, trying to get away from the madness, when I saw a young man no more than 16. He was crying, and it didn't even register at first. Not until he made eye contact with me. He had stopped moving. His eyes were bloodshot, and not just the whites around his pupils, I mean the entirety of his eyes were crimson red. Black tears streamed down his expressionless face, and then he smiled. A wide, toothy smile that would have screamed joy if it wasn't followed by animalistic screams that would give the biggest horror fanatic nightmares. I wish I could say witnessing his dying moments was the last horrific thing to happen to me today, but then it hit me. The realization that I had stopped moving. I liked that one. It was pretty good. Sorry if my live narrations aren't the best. Yeah, I love the demon ones. They're so much fun. Yeah, sometimes a little bite-sized horror is good. Just would be kind of hard to make a full video out of them. You'd have to have like 30 of them. No, I haven't heard that one. I'll have to listen. That sounds interesting. Is that like a series specifically written for that channel? Oh, was it like a multi-part series? Those are fun. Yeah, I love the emergency alert stories too. They're so much fun. Zombies are always fun to read about. There's so many different ways you can portray them. But I said earlier, the story I wrote for Monday is about multiple people throughout the world who wake up with a like a tattoo countdown timer on their arm, and basically they have to perform a task for the devil, and they have that amount of time to do it. And when they complete the task, whatever it is, the timer disappears. It's kind of cool, a little bit different. I can read like the first little portion of it, give you a little teaser. I woke up on a Tuesday with words carved into my left forearm, not tattooed, carved. The letters were raised like keloid scars, dark red against my skin. They started at my wrist and spiraled up my elbow. Retrieve item from coordinates below. Deliver to marked location. Completion deadline, 72 hours from manifestation. Below that, GPS coordinates. Below that, another set of coordinates. And at the bottom near the crook of my elbow, a timer. Currently reading 71 hours, 43 minutes, and 22 seconds. The numbers were counting down. I stared at my arm for a full minute. The skin around the letters was warm, like I'd pressed it against the hot stove. Not painful exactly, but present. It was impossible to ignore. My first thought was that I had gotten blackout drunk and someone had done this as a prank. Except I hadn't been drinking. I had gone to bed at 10:30 after watching a documentary about deep sea fish. My second thought was that I might have been having a psychotic break. That seemed more likely. I took a photo of my arm with my phone. The letters showed up in the picture, and the timer kept counting down. 71 hours, 41 minutes, and 57 seconds. Now, I called out of work. I told them I had food poisoning. Then I sat at my kitchen table and tried to think logically about the situation. The letters were real. They were on my skin. They hadn't been there when I went to sleep. I googled the first set of coordinates. They pointed to an address in South Philadelphia about 40 minutes from my apartment. The second set pointed to a warehouse in Camden, New Jersey. I spent the next hour researching. I searched for words appearing on skin, spontaneous scarring, supernatural contracts. Most of what I found was bullshit. Forums full of people claiming they'd sold their souls. Teenagers making up stories about demons they'd summoned with candles and Latin phrases from Google Translate. But then, I found a Reddit thread from 6 months ago. The title was, "Anyone else get drafted?" It had been deleted, but someone had archived it. The original post was short. I woke up with instructions on my arm. Countdown timer. Job description. I thought it was a joke until the timer hit 48 hours and my skin started burning. I did the job, and the timer disappeared. The instructions faded after a week. Is this happening to other people? The replies were a mix of trolls and people saying they had experienced the same thing. Most of those replies had been deleted too, but I found enough fragments to piece together a pattern. That's a little teaser of Monday's story. And any criticism you guys have for me on my narration style or the way I do things, I'm all ears. This is, it's still really all new to me. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun story. I don't do AI voice anymore. From now on, it's just going to be me. So the next little section of that story is kind of really good, so I'm going to read that too. It had started about 8 months ago. People waking up with instructions carved into their skin. Always a job, always a deadline, always specific. The jobs varied. Theft, mostly. Sometimes vandalism, sometimes delivery, like mine. One person said their instructions had told them to start a fire in a specific building at a specific time. No one knew why they'd been chosen. No one had made a deal, no contract signed in blood, no wishes granted. They'd just been selected. And if you didn't complete the job by the deadline, hell collected. One guy said his friend had ignored the instructions. At the 72-hour mark, the friend's arm had started to decompose. Within 6 hours, the rot had spread to his chest. He died screaming in an emergency room while doctors tried to figure out what kind of necrosis could move that fast. I looked at my timer. 70 hours, 12 minutes, 45 seconds. I grabbed my keys and headed for South Philadelphia. Yeah, I think that's all I'll do for that one for right now. I don't want to read too much of it. I want to save it for Monday. Okay, good night. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I will see you Monday. Thank you, Reform. I appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I just never really thought I had the voice for narration, but I'm glad some people like it. I guess nobody really likes the sound of their own voice. It's okay. Go get some sleep. That's an order from the doctor. The Devil's Die series. Oh, that sounds so fun. I'm gonna have to check it out. Maybe I'll listen to it tonight when I go to sleep. Thank you for the suggestion. Hey, what's up, Willie? What are you doing, buddy? You just missed a couple live narrations. Yeah, I love demon stories. Love them. Yeah, if anyone's got any story ideas you want me to cover, I'm all ears. I hope I do get hooked because I've been looking for a good series. I like to listen to them when I'm at work. Helps the day go by. Perfect. That's just what I like. Good night. Willie, what is that? I don't know what that is. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more of those very soon. I'm gonna have one out, I think, Thursday or Friday. You got any ideas for an emergency alert story? Do you like more along the lines of like realism? Like evacuation, or more supernatural? I kind of always had the idea, I think would be cool is if like the person doing the emergency alert was causing something to happen. Or like it was a false emergency alert. Like an end of the world type countdown timer just pops up on everybody's TV. Not really. But that is a cool idea as well. It's kind of like that one I made with like the purge. Like when it was emergency alert and people were just running around killing people, stealing stuff. I think it'd be cool if it was like an emergency alert that like came out on everybody's phone and everybody got something different and they all just started like killing each other and stuff. Maybe one of them got a message saying your neighbor's about to come over and kill you, so they go and kill them, and then it just starts like snowballing. I think that would be really cool. I personally like more supernatural stuff like cryptids, aliens, stuff like that. Just a lot of fun. You have so much more freedom to write about. If you do more realistic stuff, people tend to call you out if you make a mistake more. Yeah, I did a couple about nuclear strikes. But yeah, those are good too. Those are always fun. I like expanding them more. Like a lot of emergency alert stories cut off, but I like taking them past, like showing what happens after the nuclear strike, showing what people are doing, maybe collecting into groups to survive in different factions and trying to make it to fallout shelters. And I typically like to just follow one family through the whole journey, trying to make it to a fallout shelter. I think a story like that could be pretty good with all the crazy shit going on in the world right now. Yeah, that was kind of like what I was talking about. Like like an emergency alert goes out to everybody's phone and everybody gets a different message telling them to do messed up shit. Like, you know, go kill your neighbor. They're trying to kill you, or just, you know, make them do something. And one of them maybe goes to another phone and says, you know, like, we have your daughter hostage. You need to go to this address and kill this person, or we're going to kill your daughter, or something like that. Cause like mass havoc. So pretty much, yeah, just like a supernatural Simon Says. The only thing about the emergency alert stories, though, is I'm not going to say I was the first one to do it, but I was the first one to make them like really popular. And people just started copying all my titles and story ideas and just mass posting them. So if you post an emergency alert story now, it's like there's like 500 out there. I like to think I'm probably the most honest AI content creator, because no other AI channel is going to start reading themselves and do live streams and talk to their fans and stuff. Anybody else want to spark up a conversation? Anybody got anything, any questions for me? A 16-hour shift, that's brutal, man. Ugh. Well, hopefully the pay is good. Makes it worth it, you know? You have a very important job. Yes, I will be doing more emergency alert stories. There's this Reddit thread called "What is your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real story?" I want to read some of the comments. The first one says, "A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off a beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there for a while and wasn't looking great. All swollen and green and black with various runny bits. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out that he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he could talk to me and say not nice things. Mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place, and he wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt will be tonight after typing this." Very creepy, very, very creepy. This other person commented, "A few summers ago, I went for a bike ride around midnight with a friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening, and I had about 2 blocks to ride back myself. Because of the construction, I had to ride on the sidewalk, but the streets were dead, but it wasn't a problem until right when I was about to turn left onto my street. There was this man walking by himself, maybe 40s, a little scruffy, but not homeless. The sidewalk was narrow and I didn't want to freak him out, so when I got about 6 feet behind him, I said, 'Hey, behind you.' And he turned around and gave me this super angry look. I turned down my street and he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was a fucking C-word and he was going to kill me and all that. I live right off the corner and I didn't want him to figure that out, so I decided to do another loop around the block. But that's not the scary part. The scary part is that when I looped back around and looked down the street, I saw him standing on my fucking front stoop staring out at the street like he knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again, but he didn't say anything. I ended up going back to the friends, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. Edit. The guy in question was definitely not actually homeless. We have a large population of mentally ill in that area, unfortunately. Downtown of a medium-sized city. So if I didn't think the sidewalk was too narrow to pass, otherwise I would have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom and she made the decision not to notify law enforcement until my bike was stolen. And then this other person says, "I had awesome parents who let me sleep in the living room on weekend nights when I was very young because my sister was a light sleeper and I could barely stay up until dawn. But of course, I always ended up sleeping on the couch besides Nick at night made me tired. So, one night I wake up to this prickly feeling like I don't know what that word means. I just bolted into the sitting position and stared out the front window. We live in rural Georgia, so you can imagine the magnitude of trees. In perfect light cast from the moon, I see a silhouette of someone in this tree. The family dog dashes to the window and it's snarling into the glass. Terrified, I run into my parents' room and try to explain to my parents that there is a strange person outside. Dad grabs something defensive and darts out with the dogs to beat the wax off the hothead. I tremble in my mom's arms until Dad comes home and says he saw no one and to go to bed. I decided to sleep in my regular bedroom. I fill in my sister as to what happened, and Dad is making regular rounds around the house with a cup of coffee. We're all still, and I finally think I can sleep. Nope. I notice the man outside my window. From what I can see in the moonlight, he gives me a shush signal and runs away. Just turns around and runs straight away. I swear I couldn't stop crying for what felt like hours. These stories are just comments, by the way, on Reddit, so the grammar is kind of hard to follow sometimes. I was 17 and had just gotten my license. Back in high school, my friends and I had made it a mission to find abandoned houses to throw parties in. We had a good few candidates, but the mother lode was this house I would pass on my way home from work. It was an undeveloped shell of a huge home with a large property in the back. I had told one of my friends about it, and one day before we went to see a movie, I took him to the house. It was about dusk in summer, so I had my headlights on. I pulled into the front of the house, and we were there for like 10 seconds before we pulled back out to go to the main road. A minute later, this big truck pulls up behind us with its high beams on, riding our ass. My friend and I took note of it, but paid it no mind as we headed back to the main road. At the light, I turned right, but the truck cut through the gas station at the corner and blocked us off. Out of the truck comes this big hulk of a man, and my friend and I are just shitting our pants. He raps on the window and I roll it down. Now, the really freaky part is that this is a busy road and now there was no one in sight. He asked us what we were doing at the house, and I quickly lied and said we were making a U-turn. He stares at us for a few seconds, smiles, and then sends us on our way. To this day, the house remains unfinished, and I'm convinced it's a drug operation of some sort. Thank you, Shay. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. I know I may not be the best narrator, but it's all me. These little Reddit threads are kind of fun to read. When I was about 10, all of my cousins and siblings were over, about 10 of us there. My parents and grandparents were out for an adult dinner, so it was just us, the kids, sitting around watching a few movies when all of a sudden the house shook. There was this large flash coming from the backyard. It felt as if a bomb dropped. We all heard it, felt and saw it, and as a pack we ran into the hallway. The eldest cousins in the group debated on calling the police, but opted to call the parents. After a few minutes, we gained our courage and ventured out into the living room once again, this time with weapons, just in case. After a half hour with no other issues, the parents came home and thought we were insane. There was nothing wrong with the backyard and no neighbors reported anything. It's been 10 years and we still talk about it, trying to figure out what it was. That has to be the scariest thing to ever happen to me so far. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. It might be a little bit of an adjustment, you know, you're used to the AI voice, but I appreciate you sticking around. Okay, so this happened to me last summer when I was back at my parents' house during the holidays. It was around 3 a.m. and I was in my room my computer when I got a call from my sister. Now, that was already a little bit weird since my sister's room is just down the hallway from mine, and she could have just came into my room. I went to pick up, and the call ended as soon as I reached the phone. I figured that she wanted to speak with me, so I got up and went to her room. As soon as I reached the door, she started screaming that someone was in the room with her, so I busted in, and of course nobody was here. After she stopped crying, she told me that she woke up and saw a dark shadow just centimeters from her face, and that's when she screamed. So I told her that she called me. She told me that her phone is not in her room and that she was sleeping. Sure enough, her phone is actually downstairs in her purse. The weird part is that I have the log of her call on my phone, but she doesn't. I never managed to explain this one. A week after gaining my CPR certification, I had to try to perform CPR on a woman dying of heroin, probably other drugs too, an overdose. I was at a thrift store with some friends looking for Halloween costumes, and someone came in saying that someone was passed out in the parking lot. I was in the dressing room, and it just got super quiet, so I came out and told them I was certified and I'd go take a look and that they needed to call 911. I go outside and I don't see anyone on the ground. Someone comes out and shouts that the person is in the car that's parked far out by itself. I ran over and honestly freaked the fuck out. She was pretty much already dead, completely blue in the face, slumped against her car window. She had the red druggy rings around her eyes, but those were blue too because she was so oxygen deprived. We opened the door and I'll never forget. When we turned her head to see if she still had a pulse, she had tears running down her face. We pulled her out of the car, put her on the ground, and took her pulse again. Because the first person to do it wasn't sure. We started CPR and the ambulance arrived about a minute after. They got her strapped up and then continued CPR. They had another ambulance come and those EMTs got out and there were literally like 6 of them surrounding her. The cop told us that they had administered some type of drug that can apparently reverse heroin overdoses if given time. But she was pretty much dead already. They would do the necessary stuff until he could get to the hospital and call it, according to him. I also remember when we opened the door, there was heroin needles and an empty pill bottle. She wasn't very old. We also think she had kids. She had some toys and a car seat plus 2 names tattooed on her. Edit. Wow, thank you guys so much for the responses and the gold. It was definitely a rough situation, but for being 19 at the time, I think I handled it well. Damn, that shit's crazy. Could you imagine that? Back in 2004, I was a young, dumb 17-year-old girl. Back in 2004, I was a young, dumb 17-year-old country girl in the city for the first time for college. One night, I decided I could totally safely walk back to my dorm at around 1:30 in the morning, despite not really knowing where I was. Of course, I instantly ended up wandering around a terrible part of the city. Most of the streetlights are busted out, trash everywhere, loud arguments from inside the dilapidated as fuck row houses. In short, I wouldn't even want to be here in the middle of the day. A car drives up behind me and slows down so they're keeping pace with me for nearly an entire block. I look over and there are 5 unsavory looking men inside. By this point, I was approaching an intersection and they pull up, make a left, and stop in the street directly in my path. Motherfuck. I completely panic at this point and just stand there, right in front of them. My mind went completely blank. I've never been that scared in my life. It didn't even make sense to try to run because they would have caught me without question. I'm not really sure how long I stood there, but suddenly the porch light in the house just past the car came on. This dude just casually strolls outside carrying a bag of trash and The car just peels away. I completely break down crying and shaking. Dude spots me and listens to my probably incoherent story, takes me inside and gives me a soda. Then he and his roommate walk me back to my dorm. They were both lovely and invited me to check out their stand-up sometime, but unfortunately, I was too young to get into a bar. I never saw them again. Don't even remember their names, but feel pretty confident that if the guy hadn't decided to take his trash out at 1 a.m. on a Saturday, my life would have taken a really shitty turn that night. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. Do you guys like it when I just read these creepy Reddit stories to you guys? I think they're actually kind of fun. I like doing it. Here's another one. My mother told me this not long ago, but it happened about 10 years ago now. When my cousin was 17, 18 years old, she was in a car crash and had died a couple of weeks later in the hospital. She was really close to my dad's sister, our aunt, and used to babysit her kids, who were more older than that 4 years old all the time. That didn't sound right. Who were no more older than 4 years old at that time. Okay. Our aunt's house was under construction just before she passed away, and it continued on after she passed away. One day, my aunt got a phone call while she was at work from one of the construction workers complaining about a teenage girl who keeps showing up at the house and walking around, and that she shows up a number of times during the week, and it has been happening for a couple of weeks. My aunt asked for a description of the girl to see if she knows her from around the neighborhood, and sure enough, the description perfectly matches my cousin who died a few weeks before. Long brown hair, red baseball cap, denim dungarees, and a white jacket. When my aunt got home, she showed them a picture of my cousin, and they all agreed that that was the girl they'd seen walking around the site. The story really freaked me out when I heard it because our family never was one to believe in anything paranormal or have ever seen anything of the paranormal happen to them before. Some of these are kind of hard to read because their comments and the punctuation's pretty bad. Every time I stay at my grandma's house, I hear someone walking upstairs. It starts at one side of the room, casually walks to the other, and stops. This will always happen maybe twice a night. I didn't start hearing it until I was about 14, when my grandparents made me start sleeping in a different room on the first floor, because they started sleeping in separate bedrooms, blah blah blah. Regardless, both of their rooms are also on the first floor. For a little backstory, I've always been afraid of the upstairs at their house. I don't know why, but it's just always freaked me out. And I refuse to ever go up there alone. I'm 23 now, and I still won't go alone. There's one room specifically, though. It's a long, narrow bedroom. When you open the door, there are closets to your left and right, a bed placed roughly in the middle of the room, and a window on the far opposite side door. I was told growing up by my grandparents that the sons of the previous owner claimed to see a gorilla come out of the closet at night, dance around the room, and go back into the closet. I thought nothing of the story until I had to start sleeping in the other room, the room located directly below the scary room upstairs. So, we all go to bed, all the lights in the house are off, and I'm still awake, lying on the bed. And then I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. Starting at one end of the room upstairs. It got closer to me, passed right above me, and continued to the end of the room where it stopped. I'm wide awake, terrified out of my mind. There was no question to me that I had heard footsteps. I knew that slow, casual pace. I was freaked out and went to my grandpa's room. I told him what I heard. He told me that the house is old and it creaks, but he turned the dining room light on for me, so I felt a little safer. And then I tried going back to sleep. And it started again. This time from where it ended the first time, by the window upstairs. It walks over to me again and stops when it reaches the door. I thought it was over, until 5 seconds later when I heard it coming down the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Silence as it reached the landing. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And silence again as it reached the first floor. I was frozen in shock. Whatever it was on my floor of the house, and sadly unaffected by the dining room light. I was staring at the doorway to my room. The dining room light was shining in and my vision began to distort. I felt dizzy with fear, so I pulled the blankets up over my head and suddenly heard a scratching sound from inside my room. I knew exactly where it was coming from. My grandpa's gun case. It was a very obvious sound. Scratching on the wood, long scratches down the front of the gun case door. I could even hear the door ever so slightly tapping against the frame as each scratch began. I tried to scream and I couldn't. I took a second to take a deep breath and let out a loud scream. In seconds, my grandpa had made it to my room and I was relieved. Needless to say, he still didn't believe me. So I did what any normal person would do. I draped a sheet over the side of the bed and slept underneath it. I wrapped myself tight in a comforter, put on headphones, and turned my back to the door. There could be a party of ghosts in the room and I wouldn't even know. The next morning, my grandpa told me about what happened. The next morning, my grandpa told my grandma about what happened the night before. She said, "Oh, that's silly, you know. Your cousin woke me up the last time she stayed here. She came in my room saying, 'I hear footsteps.' I slept under the bed for the rest of the week. I've stayed there countless times since that happened, and I hear the footsteps every time. I sleep on the top of the bed now, but I keep my back to the door and sleep with my headphones on. I haven't heard it come down the stairs since that first night, but if it does, I don't want to know." That one was pretty cool. How about some cryptid stories? My entire childhood, my father and I used to take late night walks due to his insomnia from shift work. Our neighborhood is considered very safe and ultimately was an urban neighborhood besides one of the roads towards the back of the neighborhood being lined with thick forest for about a mile and about a quarter deep, which made it circle back in itself. All of these walks are very dear memories of mine except one, and it ended up being the last one. Along the road with the tree line, there was a single street light to illuminate a small plot of land someone owned, but it was very overgrown and ill-kept. It was very common for us to walk this road to enjoy the sounds of the forest, the lack of illumination, and the ease of circling back. One ordinary night as we were walking and making conversation, my father abruptly stops, pulls me close, and puts a hand over my mouth, then crouches with me. And he points towards this single illuminated plot roughly 100 yards away. At first I didn't see anything and I thought he was pulling my leg, but just as soon as I began to protest his grasp, I see a very small humanoid figure roughly 3 feet in height, scrawny with long limbs, materialize out of the plot's bushline, and it cautiously takes in its surroundings before signaling towards the brush. After a few seconds, 2 other small humanoid figures materialize as well. After a brief moment of what looked to be a discussion, all 3 make a dash for the forest tree line. Once this happened, my father picked me up, threw me over his shoulder, and made a break for our home, which was roughly a half-mile back. Mind you, my father is 6'5", 220 pounds, and I was roughly 120 at this time, and he never showed any signs of slowing down due to his fear and adrenaline. After this night, we never took late-night walks. He installed 4 bright motion detection lights around our acre plot and brought home a dog. A few times I've tried bringing it up, he doesn't want to discuss it and made it clear that he never wanted to. Those figures still give me chills, and the image of the 3 huddled together is very vivid 15 years later. What do you think? You guys believe that one? Sounds pretty credible. So this happened to my son when he was 17 years old. We lived in New Mexico at the time. My son, Cody, was riding along with his friends, Drew and Alex. They were in Drew's truck and Drew was driving. It was at night and they were heading to Drew's house. Drew lived out in the country, so the road they were on was isolated and surrounded by desert. In fact, that whole area is flat and mostly dirt. As they're driving along, they see a man standing in the middle of the road. Drew slows down and they all expect the guy to move off to the side. And the guy doesn't move. He just stands there. Drew slows to a stop. And the guy is just standing outside the light from the headlights. And he's wearing jeans and some sort of long sleeve shirt. And I couldn't make out the features of the guy's face, but they could tell he was facing them. Nobody moves for a second. The kids start to talk about going around him, but aren't sure if they should pass this guy or turn around and go the other way. Suddenly, the guy drops to all 4s and starts running towards the truck. All the kids start screaming. Drew slams the truck in reverse and floors it. Now they're going backwards on this dark county road, and the guy's chasing them on all 4s, and he's keeping up with the truck. And Drew goes faster, and finally the guy drops out of sight. Drew turns the truck around and they all came back to our house. I was in the living room when they came running in, slammed, and locked the door. They went tearing up the stairs to Cody's room. I went up to see what was going on, and this is when they told me the story. I'd never seen them so pale and frightened. They were completely freaked out. This happened on a Friday night around 8 p.m. These were kids that normally would rather be anywhere except home on a weekend. That weekend, they stayed at our place the whole time. They didn't go out at all, and they only left because they had school on Monday. It took a month before they wanted to go out again at night. And they would go anywhere during the day, but at night, they usually gathered at our house. After a little research, they all agreed that it was a skinwalker. Even to this day, if I bring it up, Cody and his friends will get really quiet and look scared. It took a long time for them to get past it, and I still think that talking about it will make it come back. Little skinwalker story, you believe that one? There's a lot of crazy shit out there. Oh yeah, definitely. Seeing something like that, yeah, you gotta probably talk to somebody. This is a really short one. I was camping with some friends on a piece of privately owned land that bordered a national forest. We had our tent set up at the back of the fenced, cleared part of their property. The large mesh window of my tent was facing outwards towards the forest. I woke up in the middle of the night feeling as if somebody was up and about. I was looking out the window and saw a dark... Okay, that sentence doesn't make sense. Let me try it again. I was looking out the window and saw a dark form, head to toe, humanish shaped figure lean away from a tree and slowly lean back behind the tree. It kept doing it for a few minutes as if it was checking out our camp. I woke my boyfriend up and told him I thought someone was out of our tent. This story is written terribly. Sorry. I woke up my boyfriend and told him I thought someone was out in the forest behind us. He looked, but only saw a glimpse of a dark figure running off deeper into the woods. Nobody from our camp had been out of their tent. There were no neighbors anywhere close, and the closest campground and hiking trails were also pretty far away. Someone said, I'm fairly sure you saw a bear scratching its back on the tree. They do that a lot. That's true. There is a lot of weird shit out there, but you know, sometimes it can be explained. I love cryptid stories. They're so good. Have any of you guys seen some weird shit or heard some weird shit in the woods? You stay home. Yeah, when you get tired, you can see some weird shit. I think that happens to all of us. When I was a teenager, probably about 16, I started developing bad insomnia. Ironic. Our house at the time had 2 stories and a basement and was just over 2 acres of land. So, close to the neighbors, but far enough away that there wasn't much neighborhood lighting, so it was dark outside. One night I was home alone with my younger brother while my parents and youngest brother were at a hospital with my dad, who had just had surgery. My brother was asleep and I was just starting to go to sleep around 3 or 4 in the morning when suddenly I heard heavy footsteps downstairs and someone walking back and forth. Naturally, I thought someone broke in and I was terrified. I determined that if I remained quiet, whomever broke in would just take some stuff from the main floor, and we didn't have many valuables, and leave without risking waking anyone up. When day came, it turned out everything was fine and nothing was taken. There was no trace of any intruder. Eventually I got over it, but about a month or two later I heard it again, and again, and again. Always between 2 to 4 a.m. and always on the floor below me. My family doubted me because of the insomnia and my general sleep deprivation. One night, I was up really late with my mom and we heard it together. Not only that, but this time it was on the same floor as us. She said, "No way. That's just Dad, I'll go look." And when she came back, she looked surprised and informed me Dad was fast asleep. The validation was nice, but I would have preferred sleep deprivation hallucinations. Over time, the rest of my family heard it. We called it the poltergeist. It was never malicious, but one day we found out one of our hammers bent backwards, which was weird. We set up a night vision camera and eventually did capture the sounds on tape, along with what sounded like a glass set on the counter and a heavy sigh. Unfortunately, we accidentally and stupidly taped over it with the recording from the Super Bowl. Mom, in all her brave glory, once heard it in the basement and went down to tell it that it was dead and needed to go towards the light. If I recall, we really didn't hear it after that. That one's creepy. Ghosts scare the shit out of me. Wow, that's crazy. I have a friend that deals with sleep paralysis. That's some crazy shit. That would be so scary. Yeah, I've heard that too. That's actually pretty common, inheriting ghosts from family. We have a lot of ghosts going around in our family too. They scare the shit out of me. Like, they might not be malicious, you know, it might be just a family member checking in on you, but it still scares the shit out of me. Maybe they're doing, you know, seeing you do something bad or stupid. I'm in the Midwest. I'll say that. It's very cold here right now. Oh, I have an accent? Do we Midwesterners have accents? I always wondered that, if like we had an accent compared to other people. Like I've been told I kind of have like a southern accent, kind of, but I don't know. I don't really hear it. Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. So you guys think I'm doing a good job of narrating? These stories on Reddit, I'm not really narrating. I'm just kind of reading. I try to like tone my voice down and just kind of make it relaxing because I know a lot of you guys listen to sleep. Like I personally, when I listen to narrators, I like the higher pitched range of voices. I don't like the super deep, gravelly. I mean, you might have an accent to me. I know, like, New Yorkers, they have accents. I've had a lot of people tell me they like the AI voice more, which is kind of ironic. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't have like a super heavy accent, like southern drawl, but like somebody from Texas, they might be a little bit more southern than me. Or Louisiana, they got a pretty thick accent. Like, who's that guy on YouTube? What's his name? He does like big crawfish boils and gumbos, and he's always I think he used to be a cop, and then he got in trouble, but he does YouTube. He like always wears overalls, drinking beer and stuff. I can't remember his name. He's got blonde hair. I like watching his stuff. He's funny. Yeah, I really do put a lot of effort into my stuff. There's a lot of AI channels that just do like a bunch of slop and just mass produced their stuff, and it's a little frustrating when I got demonetized saying my content was inauthentic. But, you know, just gotta keep moving forward. British. Yeah, some of them are good though. If you guys were out in the woods, what would be the scariest thing you could possibly see? Like a pale crawler. Those things are so creepy. I'd be scared shitless. Another person. Yeah, people are pretty fucked up nowadays. Probably would be scary seeing another person. What's your guys' favorite scary movie? Exorcist, which one? The original? I love movies like that, like movies that set the standard. Yeah, the original set the standard for horror. I'm a big fan of it's the same, I believe it's the same person who directed the Sinister 1 and 2, and then the Black Phone and Black Phone 1 and 2. Those movies, I love that style. The Sinister movies are so good. And yeah, you can't go wrong with The Exorcist or old slashers like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface. Yes, Conjuring, those are so good. They kind of lost me towards the end. A couple last movies are but the very first Conjuring 1 and 2, oh man, so good. Indonesian. Oh, there's a I think is it Chinese? What's it? Train to Busan or something like that on Netflix. The movie's really good. Sometimes those are hidden gems. Oh, I haven't seen any Indonesian horror movies. Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? Just talking about some scary movies, and I was reading a couple stories. The Incantation. I think me and my daughter watched that one. Is it on Netflix? Like Malaysian movie or something like that? The Mist? Oh yeah, The Mist. Hell yeah. Man, the ending of that movie's so fucked up. Could you imagine? He just kills everybody, and then they just seconds later they come and save him. Man. That's like one of the most powerful endings in movie history. So crazy. Love that movie. Didn't they try to come out with another one? Storm of the Century? I don't know if I've heard that one. Or seen that one. Oh, what's that one with Mark Wahlberg where they're like the wind is like turning people crazy and shit? What's that called? Oh man, that movie's good though. Yeah, I think I want to say I've seen Incantation. Like any horror movie on Netflix, I've probably watched. The Happening, yes. Yes, that's a good movie. Mark Wahlberg, terrible acting in that movie, but it was still good. We always talk shit on that part where he's like, what? No. Oh, hell yeah. I'm a big car dude. I got I was talking to another guy earlier. I got a 21 GT, Mustang GT 10-speed auto with a ESS blower on it, on E85 with a full fuel system. Made it 812 to the rear wheel on E85. 13 pounds of boost. It's my baby. I'm a big car guy. Grew up around cars, grew up fixing them. My dad owns a frame shop. It's actually what I do in my spare time. If I'm not working or doing YouTube, I'm building wreck cars. Yeah, that 10 speed in that in the Mustang's nasty, especially tuned. Yeah, it pretty much lives on E85. Because where I live, we don't have anything higher than 91, and it's just shit here. So E85 is like, you know, cheap race fuel. Pretty much anytime you're running boosted, you just makes sense to go E85. But yeah, Mark, I like OBS trucks. Oh yeah, the Coyote. I've got Cook's long tubes on it with the MBRP axle back or cat back, I guess, or kittyless headers. And yeah, it screams. I was never a automatic guy. I always had manuals, but the 10 speeds and the 18, they came out with the 10 speeds for trucks for the F-150s and the Mustangs, and they're just nasty. That's awesome, Mark. I'm a huge Mustang guy, so you know, I would probably say my favorite Mustang is, oh God, I would have to see like the 0304 Cobra Terminator, just because they were so sick. You know, the IRS supercharger was like ahead of its time, but like Fox bodies and such a good chassis. I think I would probably have to get like a 69 Camaro. I'm like a retro mod. I would love to have like a 69 Camaro and put like a, you know, an LS in it with a big single turbo. Be a lot of fun. These things bring a lot of money though. I like the old shit, but I like new shit too. Yeah, Bel Airs are sweet. It'd be a lot of fun. It's cool. We got some car guys in here. It's like a huge passion of mine. Yeah, I've only been in one car crash, and it was not bad. It was just a, car, a old dude in a van turned in front of me, and I just kissed his ass. Yeah, Whistling Diesel's cool. I like Cletus McFarlane too. Whistling Diesel he just does so much crazy shit. Nobody can top him. He buys like brand new Ferraris and just fucks them up. Who's your favorite YouTuber to watch? I mean, besides me, of course. You know. Zip ties and bias plies. No, I need a bias ply tire, man. I have some Nitto NT 555Rs, Gen 2s on the back of my Mustang, 15s, or not 15s, 17s. They don't hook worth shit. I need something soft. That bitch spins and gets squirrely. You remember that old show, Junkyard Wars? Man, I love that show. I used to have a sticker that said zip tie technician on my car. When I had a piece of shit Civic in high school, it said zip tie technician. Oh, you're not very old. How old are you? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, wow, you're young. Jeez. It's hard to entertain the younger crowd with long form scary stories. What made you get into listening to scary stories? Stephen King is the best. Yeah, Dark Somnium. I mean, I love him, but I agree with you. At some point, you know, if you've been doing it for so long, you gotta almost imagine it gets burnt out. He's really good at putting emotion into his stories, though. Yeah, Mr. Ballin really blew up. His style's really resonates with people because he's ex-military. And he just, you know, stands there on the camera and just tells you the story. A lot of time, I mean, sometimes very few I do share other people's stories, but most of the time I make my own. So that's kind of the difference between me and all the other bigger creators is they read other people's stories. So you may have heard it on another channel before, but most of mine are original. I've never heard of that. Roman X, never heard of her. Is she a narrator? Female narrators aren't very popular, unfortunately, because, I mean, some of them are very talented. No, I haven't heard of that one. If I'm listening to stories on YouTube, it's mainly just creepypasta. He does look like a very relatable guy, though. Yeah, war stories are really big right now. I'd love to collab with somebody. I think that'd be so fun. But since I basically, used a lot of AI narration in the past, a lot of creators are kind of scared off by that. Like, even though I'm using my real voice now, they see the AI before. What's the funniest story you have heard? I don't really listen to a whole lot of comedy. Maybe like old Larry the Cable Guy, or like some, funny movies like Adam Sandler and stuff, but I don't really know the funniest story I've ever heard. We do horror here, not funny. From friends and family, well, like I said, my dad ran a frame shop, so we always used to get pretty interesting characters that come out there. And there's this one guy, we named him Blackjack, and me and my dad were just driving around, maybe picking up some parts or something, and we pulled up next to him at an intersection. And he's a little bit older, and my dad looked over and he couldn't get his attention, so my dad honked the horn, and Blackjack, he just, like, the light was red and he just thought maybe somebody was behind him honking because the light had turned green. So he left, took off into the middle of the intersection, and 3 or 4 cars almost hit him and he was swerving around. So I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, you got your friend banned from a cafe? Must have been a really dirty joke. Yeah, accidentally, quotation marks. Crazy. We're probably going to end the stream here in about 5 minutes. I've been streaming for 3 hours. Yes, I do have a voice. Did you listen to my live narrations? Awesome. Did you not like the AI voice? Maybe when I was younger I did, but I don't scare people. I mean, hopefully my stories scare you. So I guess, yeah, I scare people all the time on YouTube. Yeah, I'm just trying to get away from the AI stuff. It's just like I originally never planned to take it this far with AI, and people just started liking it. But yeah, I agree. Real voice is so much better, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy telling the stories. A nightmare? Man, I've had so many nightmares. My videos had air raid sirens? Oh, okay. Yeah, sound effects, I mean, every once in a while sound effects are cool, but if you overdo it, it's like most people listen to these to fall asleep. They don't want to be woken up. And too many sound effects can kill the story. Were they like emergency alert stories? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've had any sound effects in any of my stories. That was a cool one, though. The angel in the attic. Badass story. You guys are really going to love Mondo's story. Yeah, Krampus is cool. Around Christmas time, you usually hear a lot of those stories. I talked about it earlier. It's about people that wake up with a countdown timer like burned into their skin on their arm. And basically it's like the devil summoning them to do a task for him. And if they don't complete it when the timer runs down, they die. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I read like a page and a half of it live. You might be able to dig in the live stream and find it. The song one, which one's that? Back from Hell story. Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Yep, we're going to end the stream here in 3 minutes. You have a good night too, Mark. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to check out Monday's story. Oh, come on, don't tell me that, and I'm gonna be scared. Probably gonna be something under there. Oh, well, that's not scary. All right, guys, we're going to be ending the stream here. I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up and talked with me. We're going to be doing this again next Saturday, same time. So I hope you guys all have a good night, and goodbye.